In this video, we're going to continue with our ground classification cleanup. Now, we've ran the first adaptive 10 algorithm to create our 10 by 10 or our 10-foot seed points, and then we've manually took them out. We're going to run the algorithm again and see what it does. So I am going to turn off the force 100% because you won't need it in the future for this, and we're going to go to point cloud tasks and we're going to create another one. So we're going to hit add. We're going to leave it on adaptive 10 filter, but I'm going to name this one adaptive 10 ground iterations. Okay, and hit OK. Make sure it's selected. Under my source points, we're going to make sure that we have 0 and 1 selected again, and that our returns tab is set to last returns. Under our destination class, we're going to send these to ground as well, but this time we're going to set the key points. And what this is going to allow us to do is when the tool runs, it's going to create a synthetic flag called key point. And if we don't like the results, we can always filter all ground that are key points and then take them back out of ground so we don't lose the work we done on the previous step of classifying it. So we're going to hit OK. I'm going to make sure it's in feet, and we're going to make sure this is set to advanced. Under the seed point selection, we're going to change it to use existing destination points only. So only use those seed points that for analysis that we have already done. The seed sample distance does not matter because we have that selected. Under node insertion parameters, we're going to choose a use specified values. We're going to change the angular threshold to 1, and the distance, this is the vertical or horizontal distance, and let's change it to 0.1 in our case. And this depends on the topography that you're calculating. So if you have a very steep terrain, you may have to play with this angular threshold and maximum distance. But since mine's relatively flat, in most flat areas, I'm going to use these two. I'm going to omit edge climbing algorithm. So what this does, if you have any flight that's maybe not pure urban, if it has any vegetation or bushes at all, you're going to want to check this, or else it will climb up the bushes or up poles and stuff like that. So leave that unchecked, and we're going to perform iterations, and we're going to run 3. I'm going to hit apply, and then we're going to run it for our data set again. Once that's done, notice that I can actually see some data without the true on, and if I zoom in, you will see that there is much more information than there was before. If I change it to the points, you can see there's much more than what we had before. What this did is took each one of those seed points that we said 10 by 10 and said was ground, looked for all points that met this angular threshold, and said, okay, if you're within 1 degree of me and within 0.1 vertical distance, then you must be ground. So it went through and crawled through all that data and then classified all these additional ground points. In our next video, we're going to go ahead and keep cooking this data down and getting it down even